What's up, everybody? It's your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. If you're catching this on the replay and you have no clue who I am, I'm Erica Williams, author of the Smartphone Millionaire book, How to Invest in Real Estate, Businesses, and People from the Palm of Your Hand. Also, how to make a ton of money. But here's the kicker. You're going to tell you the title of this video and go, we're talking about Miley Cyrus, Erica? Why are we talking about Miley Cyrus on this channel? Listen, this is a prime teaching moment here. This is a perfect teaching example. You don't have to keep up with all this young pop news to know what I'm talking about. If you've seen a couple years ago, Miley Cyrus, who used to be Hannah Montana, who used to be on Disney Channel, who's Billy Ray Cyrus's mullet daughter. Yeah, I said it. Billy Ray Cyrus' mullet daughter. She had great songs and she has a great voice. Like, I've actually listened to her music, like, not Hannah Montana, just like actually listening to the singing potential of this young lady. Well, then she had 2-3 years where she did this weird kind of hanging out with rappers, then kind of dancing on top of Robin Thicke, and then kind of like a lot of my white friends would say she dressed like a crack whore. I mean, I just thought it was the most hilarious thing I've ever heard in my life. But then she sat out, got out of the spotlight, finished her tour. You know, her tour, a lot of people, parents would walk out, right? Because parents are buying Hannah Montana, not this hoochie mama out there rubbing her butt all in the air, which she has no butt, but rubbing it in the air and doing all these wild things. So she sat down after the tour and then all of a sudden came back, grew her hair out, grew her hair out, got back with her boyfriend, calmed down, and then all of a sudden, she done got married this summer, a little bit, like maybe 3 weeks ago, or a couple months ago, got married. Quiet, hair's long, beautiful white dress, very demure, got married to the Hemsworth brothers. Listen, them Hemsworth brothers are hot, okay? And if you don't know who that is, that's the guy from Hunger Games, the tall, good-looking guy. And, here's my whole point of this, bringing up this whole Miley Cyrus thing, because some of you are probably like, Erica, get to the point. The point is, when something is not working or something is not in tune with who you are spiritually, stop. Turn the bus around immediately. Stop. Please stop. Now, why am I saying this? Because we see this all over the internets. Right now on Facebook, everybody's doing this dumb aging challenge. And I think it's so Skynet can recognize our faces better. All right? That's what I think. But they'll show a picture 10 years ago and a picture now. And then the picture now, everybody's covered in 14 filters and like the pictures only of their face, not their body. Because of course their body looks nothing like their 20-year-old self. And it was sad to me. So I've been like clowning it hard on Facebook. Every day I get on there, I'm clowning people. I'm like, stop, you look stupid. Like, black don't crack, but it do get fat, right? I'm just doing all kind of mess on my timeline because what people don't understand is you can't get those years back. And the reason I call this video do a 180 like Miley Cyrus, turn your life around like Miley Cyrus, because some of you need to stop what you're doing and do a 180. Now, there's a pastor, his name is Keon. I have to look it up, but he's out of Houston, I think. And he has this clip that is going viral where he says, look here, men, don't let your 35-year-old body and muscles and energy disappoint your 50-year-old self. And when he said that, it was like, whew, hit me in my chest, because this is the thing. A lot of the phone calls, I don't know, I'm thinking at 3,000 calls or something. I'm at like 5,000 customers at this point, variations of calls, credit repair, all kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, when I talk to people, what they realize is they've lost time. Every time I go on O'Shea channel and these very macho red pill men channels, I get a ton of sales from guys who are like, hey, I'm getting married. I need to fix my credit right now. Or, hey, I'm moving in with my girlfriend. I'm trying to fix my credit so we can buy a house. Like, there's just so many people who their internet persona is rough and tough and rumble and sandpaper, but their real actual lives are very much different. And I don't mind that, right? Because at least they're turning, right? They may be like, ooh, I'm at 40s, 50s, and I've made a mistake and I'm going to turn this bus around. I'd rather you turn the bus around with full energy than not, than crash and burn, right? Because I'm in Austin, Texas, and everybody thinks I'm being dramatic. But when I go to the park, there are all these 40 and 50-year-old people with 2 and 3 and 4 dogs every day. I'm seeing women with 3 dogs. I'm seeing older men with 3 dogs. I'm like, how do you even walk around your house and not fall down because the dogs are everywhere? And sometimes they're the nicest people in the world. And you talk to them, they have very unique stories. I used to walk Town Lake all the time. Now I'm getting back into it for this year. But again, don't let your 35-year-old attitude and ego write a check your butt can't cash at 50, because you're talking about a different body, right? Like right now, there's YouTubers, fitness YouTubers I follow. There's 2 women. They got pregnant and they are different, and their channel is different, and their workouts are different. And people are like, oh, they're going to bounce back. Well, one girl's 40, the other girl's 38. The lights and the camera and the makeup can only do so much. Your body takes a toll. Things change. And you guys, hey, if you have to go to bed, don't be up. I'm just having a rant because literally I'm picking friends up at 1 o'clock in the morning from airport. They just stopped at Beautiful Girls, and so I'm picking them up. But I got a little, I got some notes I wrote down, but I just really have to do this video because people saw me this week and they're like, man, you went back and forth to San Antonio like every day. That's like 3 hours. That's a lot of driving. And I go, I'm trying to buy this truck. I'm actually trying to buy 3 trucks, right? So, but the point of the story is I'm trying to buy these trucks and I want to be on top of it. Every bit of every inspection, what's going on with this thing, I want to see under the hood. I want to see everything, right? And thank you, Go Jen, Be Fit. And people saw me this week talk about me getting a chef. I got a chef. I got a personal trainer. I got all these things. And people are like, oh, you're wasting money. And I'm like, this is my body. I have to live in this body. I have to carry this body around. I have to be healthy at 50 and 60 and 70 years old. And what people out here living their best life and cracking it up and partying every weekend don't understand is you will get old. You live long enough, as the old people say, you will get old. And do you have things you are looking forward to? I've got this 10X. Let me close it up. I don't want you to see my notes. See my journal notes. Y'all can't be in my business like that. But I got this 10X journal this week. I've been working on it every day. But if you really write out your day, because what happens is a lot of people say, man, Eric, I want to quit my job so I can work for myself. And you know what? Those same habits they have at work now where they're slacking and coasting, but they got a guaranteed paycheck every 2 weeks. It get real different when you start working for yourself. Those same coasting behaviors, you don't work, you don't eat. And what a lot of them are learning now, oh, okay. Oh, it's different. I got to do this or that. Right now, I'm going to be teaching people maybe later this year. I just don't have time right now. 6-figure strategies off of YouTube. And I'm like, and I tell people, solve people's problems, answer their questions, solve their problems, have products and services. People are like, oh, it's not that easy. What else, Erica? I'm like, it's literally that easy. I even took a training this guy did, and I started busting out laughing in the training because literally there's several people I know do this right now. They've got a channel with maybe 50 videos on it, and they just run ads on 2 videos and make sales off those 2 videos alone. They don't even try. They don't care about subscribers. They don't care about any of this other stuff. And what cracks me up is people out here wanting subscribers, wanting all these numbers, and there's people out here with 10, 20,000 people making a ton, making a killing on the internet, right? And you guys see as this year goes along, as I transition more into like, hey, you guys want to buy in this property, you want to buy in this truck, you want to buy in this, it comes from a place of just growth, just growing, and growing in your business and growing in your life and having goals. A lot of people that are showing these 10-year Facebook challenges, doing all this trickery with filters and face angles and all this mess, it's like, but what other examples do you have that you've grown in your life? Some of these people still live in the same town, still live down the street from their mama. They got kids, some ain't married. I mean, I just saw a gender reveal the other day, and it was a woman and her other kid. I said, now where the man at? Now you done did this one time by yourself. Now where the man at? Doing this gender reveal. Come on, people. Like, there's some things, people can call me old fogey or standards or whatever I'm saying, but it matters. These things matter because what you're making plans and decisions that are going to affect you at 50 and 60. There's some people, like prime example right now, people that are freaking out about this. Like there's a church that made the news because they gave the furloughed people money. Now you're telling me they've been going to your church and they've been working for the government 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. They ain't got no money to pay their rent for 1 month. They're not with Navy, Federal, USAA, or Penn Fed that's giving free money to them equal to their paycheck. Come on now. Come on. These things don't add up. These are the same people rolling up to church in Mercedes Benzes and BMWs and Cadillac Escalades and nice cars and Dodge Chargers and you name it, the Dart, whatever, and they don't got no money to pay their bills. This is not okay. And I'm very proud. I mean, it's a black church in the middle of, I don't know where, somewhere up north, Maryland. It's a good thing. They did a good thing. The church raised, I don't know how many thousands of dollars, but they paid all these people's rent. But I wanted to literally write that church a letter and go, y'all need to get the Dave Ramsey program. You need to do like the mega white churches and get the Dave Ramsey program and get your staff on the program. Then get your people on the program, because there's no reason why these people have been working for the government, secure jobs for more than 5 years, and don't have no savings, don't have no TSP account, don't got no money in their 401k, don't got no money saved up, ain't got no CDs. You know what I mean? You know, people living paycheck to paycheck. But again, this is that moment where I'm like, I want everybody that's at that church asking for a check. I want to see what car they drive. I want to see what clothes they wear. Because little by little, inch by inch, everything's a cinch, right? It's these little bit of decisions that are eating up their money, eating up their time. Now, people say, Erica, y'all always preaching about business ownership. You know me on this channel. I'm just saying own or be owned. Own something. Own something that will pay you. You ain't got to start a whole new business. You can do part-time ownership. You can own a little piece. Andre Hatcher was showing this drink company these guys have. You can put $300. You put part-time owner into that. You know, there's so many things. Man, Fifi Georgie. People take money. See, a lot of people, what's coming up is 401ks. People are taking loans out against them already. So they're already behind in debt. That's why they couldn't take another loan out. They're talking to these people. They're interviewing them. And that's what's most of them. They've already taken a loan out against themselves. So they can't take another one. A lot of people, I remember when I worked in apartment management, there was a lady who was 55. And I mean, you guys, to this day, I'm worried about this woman. She was liquidating like her whole 401k, saying she couldn't find any type of job. And this had gone on for 6 months. And I was like, you're 55, you had a great job. I mean, you in Austin, Texas, you can't find nothing. And always what I listen to, what I remember is, what I always think about is there was choices made all along the way. Right? You know? And there's choices made every step of the way. People have done decisions and choices that led to crappy lives. Austin, now you better stop. Austin, tomorrow, I don't want money because having money and kids at the same time is risky for a man. Listen, Austin, it's not risky. Think higher, baby. Think abundance. Think what you can do and how you can layer and protect yourself. People always give me these stories of like, man, these women out here robbing you. No, they ain't. No, they ain't. They're not doing it. Let me see what else. Let me go back over here. KG said, this is what I'm trying to get it together now. I'm telling y'all. From what all the articles I'm reading and seeing, I'm like, this is too many people. And I'll give you the numbers. If I don't know if you were on the other show. Do I have my paper? Dang. I think it's way over there. We ain't gonna get up. No, we not. Anyway, so the states that people were Googling, will their food stamps be cut off? Were places like West Virginia, New Hampshire, Louisiana, random places that were worried about the government being shut down because they weren't going to get their government check. Hawaii, Alaska, DC, Maryland, Virginia. Why? Those areas depend on it. Alaskans have some of the highest rates of government employment and also government benefits coming from the government, right? Same with Hawaii. A lot of government workers down there. And what people don't understand is you cannot be dependent on one income. No matter how many times I'm telling people to read Rich Dad, Poor Dad or Cash Flow Quadrant or read anything or just pay attention, people look at me like I'm crazy. And I'm like, you're living it. How much more does it have to be in your face for you to recognize what I'm saying is true? You're living it. So look, here's some things I was looking at. There's also this viral video of this black rapper. I don't know if he's a rapper per se or a producer. He goes, it's old, sick, and broke. He was like, that's nobody's problem. You being old, sick, and broke is not my problem. But he's helping, and he's only 40-something, and he's helping all these older black males who have strokes and heart attacks get better. And he was like, I'm trying to help, but I can only do so much. You being broke and old and sick is not my problem. You got to make better choices. And People don't want to hear that, but that's the truth. You got to turn this ship around. There's a book called Turning the Ship Around, but it really, like, again, I've been on YouTube. I went back to look at my oldest video 4 years ago. Y'all, I thought it was longer than that. It felt longer than that, but it was 4 years ago. 2.5 of these years we're making six figures. 2.5 years investing with Charles Ogilvy, Todd Capital, other groups, Detroit, North Carolina, South Carolina. In order to turn the ship around, you've got to lay into it. You've got to make the decision that this has to go this particular way. The reason I'm going to 10X conference is just to, like, rah my spirit. Like, you could coast. You could coast another year, or you could really turn it up. You could turn it up and make your life better, because there's a lot of people out here weekend warrior in it. Do you ever heard of that, weekend warriors? Where they go out, they go so hard, they spend so much money every weekend, and then they're back Monday through Friday working. Some of them unhappily. It doesn't have to be that way, you know? So anyway, sorry, let me see what else y'all got in here. Oh, Jim, you're at the gym? Go, listen, I got up early this morning because I promised myself I'd go, and I was at the gym at 6:40, and I was like, oh. But again, you got to remind yourself, you're not doing this for today where you don't feel like it. You're doing it for tomorrow. You're doing it for 10 years from now. You're doing it for 5 years from now, Erica. And people don't think like that. They think I don't feel like it. Even today, I had my meals over here. I ate my already made meals by Just Authentic Meals, my chef. And then I had dinner, and I was like, I could go to Steak Shack. Yeah. And I'm like, nope. We're going to go get this very healthy vegetarian pho. It's soup, basically. It was pretty good, though. I had shrimp in it. Antonio Williams said, I like that hood song she did with Juicy J. Yeah, I mean, Miley Cyrus was doing the most. So Fifi said Skynet or Oblivion. Yeah, Skynet. I'm telling you. This is someone Super O'Shea made an announcement on his show the other day that you bought those trucks. What show? What show did he announce? I guess I got to go back and check. I really, like, this how funny is it? All weekend, I've literally hopped on people's shows, make a 2 comments, and then pulled back out and closed this down. Like, every day I've been like, hammer, hit the hammer. Because when I walked up to that dealership and actually walked through the process, I was like, this is it? This is it? This is all I got to do? This is how much the insurance is? This is how much the truck is? Let's go. Let's do this. And then I just reached out to people and said, hey, do you want to invest in this? Boom. Boom, 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 boom. Just that fast. So, again, life comes at you fast. Got to be focused. Not messy, focused. Oh. Anything in here I'm missing? Oh, goodness. Don't do it, Erica. We start trolling you. Start trolling me for what? A recession is coming within 5 years. Man, recession's already here, man. Cash flow can't realize. I want to see your bank ledger eat. Man, Hess Holdings. Woo. You want to do that? Come drop 1,000. I'll come to my office. We'll talk. People love talking about that. Recession has already begun. I prefer a healthy workout. Being healthy without money, gym, minimum wage. I don't know anybody who lives well on minimum wage, but if you live in your car, cool. That's cool. Okay, let's see what else you got here. What's up, Andre Hatcher? You want to come on for a bit? I'm burning time before my friends come from the airport at 1 a.m. They adopted kids and, like, last minute getting out of the snow. Oh, it's the African. He said in the beginning of the show. I'll look it up. Thank you, though. I appreciate that. What you doing, Hatchet? Making notes. Well, I guess Andre sleep. I don't know. But yeah, so essentially this is the show. That's all it was. I just want to talk about collaboration over competition. A lot of this stuff is, you see the separation. Go to sleep, then, Andre. You see people rising, and groups of people rising together. Like when Andre came on the panel, me, him, all those people have the fluidity and flexibility to meet each other and go do different stuff in different cities at different times. It's choices, 2-3 years of choices, hard choices. And a lot of it is like, Ayana Fixed My Life, I posted on Instagram, where she was saying that self-esteem affects all assets of your life. And it's true. It's so true. Like a lot of people I'm meeting who I'm not gonna knock it. They're smart people who could probably do certain type of businesses better than I could ever do, but they don't have the belief in themselves. Well, I'm doing the best I can. Well, I'm doing pretty good from where I come from. And again, I keep messing with my friend Asia, but she always watches 600-Pound Life for motivation. I'm like, I'm not looking at those bitches. I'm looking at that girl I'm always showing here and here who's traveling the islands and wearing a two-piece. I'm looking forward and up. I'm not looking down. Looking down for why? For what? Right? A lot of times the accountability that you need is not coming from looking down. It's coming from looking up. It comes from like when you want to aspire to be more, you got to look up. I love how Grant Cardone be trolling everybody tomorrow. You can fake a Lambo, you can't fake a jet. Because it's perfectly true. These people can fake all these numbers. People, prime example, when people start showing, I made $1 million with Amazon FBA, and then you would go, hey, what's your profit? Not your gross. What's your profit? They about cuss you out. Because a lot of these people are spending so much money marketing, putting out ads that didn't work, sometimes ads that did work. And so their margins were like, So again, you got Grant Cardone, who owns a whole building in Miami that a bank used to be in. Then he's got all that staff over there. He goes countless trainings. You can't fake that, So again, I've got the studio coming next week. I got the ring light. We're going to have better lighting. Going to be in a different setup. But again, all these things take money and it takes time. But you got to decide if you want to turn the ship around. You got to decide where am I wanting to go? That's true. Martin Jackson. Yeah. People look down, not to inspire themselves, but to have someone to point to and say, at least I'm doing better than them. You know how many women who make this joke on Instagram go, every woman on 600-Pound Life got a husband, right? And I would laugh, but then I would remember, I'm like, that's not funny. Some of those people are in some bad situations. Some of their spouses are, they're enablers and they got a mental disorder. And it's like, why are you looking down? Why are you looking down? Oh, PBS, Amanda P, listen, I'm updating it for me, right? Not for y'all complaining. What books do you recommend for getting in business mindset? It depends on what's your goals. Is it real estate? Is it stocks? It depends on what your focus is. If you're telling me you're going to do wholesaling, then I would niche you down to some wholesaling books. If you're telling me you're going to do other type of investments, I'd say that's your focus, right? So, when I started, I said, what did I say? Cash Flow Quadrant, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Alternative Answer by Bob Rice. All these things are important, but it depends on what's your focus. People love saying, what's a business book? But what is your focus? If your focus is real estate, that's all you need to read is real estate stuff all day. And then there's a million ways to make real estate. So then you got to pick your niche hardcore. Same thing when it comes to, what's the dude who flips houses. Okay, so what's happening now? As the economy changes, you're not going to put the highest end stuff in every single flip. You might have to grind it down a little bit. So, Aegon the Conqueror, Game of Thrones. I would say be your own boss. Being your own boss, you can own shares in companies and stocks. You can own shares in someone else's business. You can go in investment partnerships. That's one way. If tech is paying you a lot of money, keep riding that money train. Just keep building up your side stuff. So, yeah, Andre Hatchett just posted the book in there. Yeah, there he is. That's the video, the video that's in the side of the private Facebook group. It's the guy saying, don't let your 35-year-old self mess up your 50-year-old body, because that's what's going to happen. And again, I always talk about buying one rental property a month, one rental property a year for the next 5 to 10 years. And people go, "Oh, Erica, dang, you own that mess again." Listen to me. Even if that property gets you $700, you do one a year. Year 10, you're getting $7,000 a month income. We're just keeping it simple numbers. $7,000 a month income. That's how much a year. Now compare your friends and family 10 years from now. Are they all going to be healthy, happy, making an extra additional $7,000 a month? No, they will not. No, they will not. And some people, even if you win a lump sum of money and you do like, let's say you invest in 3 properties at one time, you can sit back and chill for a year or two and just collect the money and kind of see if this is where you want to do. Do you want to do more of this? Do you want to do less of this? But you can't rest on your laurels. Like the other day, I found out there's a whole network. Let me see if I can find it. There's a whole nother black network called Bounce TV. Have you ever heard of it? It's called Bounce TV. And you can stream it and do all kind of stuff. And they've got shows that been on there, like one show been on there 5 seasons. Like I've never even heard of this. California black people, where y'all been at? Y'all not telling me about these cool things that are on the internet. So hold on, I gotta read that. That's a different theory. Let's see that one. I just want to be the master of my own time. It's very important. Okay, Fifi George said, I saw a meme on Instagram where it indicated that Jeff Bezos' divorce is a way for him to sell his stocks before we fail the market crash. He'll sell the stocks while they're high and give them to his wife. Then they'll get back together when the coast is clear. Huh. That's a different theory. Listen, when I saw a picture of him in the nightclub, I was like, bro, this is where trouble happens. You too old for the nightclub one. And I know somebody 50 gonna be like, no, you're not. For that particular nightclub where Jeff Bezos was, yeah, he was too old for that. But again, when CPAs, if you actually read CPAs, they said the number one ways you can tell if a person's about to um, lose their basically mess up their company is they start buying planes, boats, or get a new wife. So again, the signs are there. Yeah, I think Martin Jackson, you can stream it. When I pulled it up on my phone, I was just like so shocked with Dish TV. So yeah, it has a couple different shows on it. But yeah, that's an interesting theory. Good theory. That was on an episode of House of Lies. Hey, I mean, listen. Prime example. Part of the blueprint that Tony the Closer was promoting was like calling tired landlords, calling people and following up. He asks all the time, have you guys did any of that? And people are like, oh no, I didn't do it. And I drove by this house and I keep telling the story, but literally the grass is overgrown, the building look raggedy, the for sale sign all leaning. I'm like, this guy don't even care if he rent this house out. He ain't even got the enthusiasm anymore to get that check. He ain't even making it presentable. Those type of people you could call and get that property and treat it like a queen. So the key here is making a decision. Is that, yeah, true equity? Making a decision. Make a decision that you're going to get something and treat it right and grow it. People lose the mission. When I see houses like that, they've lost the mission of what is that house supposed to do? Provide income. That's it. Anyway, so I'm going to roll out of here, but I just had to stop through. I know you guys are probably like, she's been quiet all weekend. For all of you in here, answer this question for me so I can wrap up the night. What is one thing you wish you knew, but you did? What's one thing you wish you knew at the beginning that you know now? As we do a reflective night. What's one thing you wish you knew at the beginning that you know now? So put that in the comments and I'll wait. Maurice, I'm a Maurice. That's inappropriate. Lottery numbers. That's ridiculous. Maurice, you in timeout because that ain't even right. It doesn't matter if you start small as long as you start. Exactly, Naomi Amos. That's a good answer. The hard job, that hard work at a job isn't necessarily rewarded. That sometimes when you ever hear the people say, show do your work as unto the Lord, not unto your boss, right? Because sometimes people really don't notice you. They do not notice you in a workplace. They just don't. Saving money is not something to put off until later. Ooh, yes, health, wealth, and real talk. Lemon for life. How to fix credit while I was 15, 16 years old. You shouldn't have anything on your credit at 15, 6 years old, 16 years old, unless some of y'all mamas been putting y'all name on the light bill. Derek Bailey, you just need to take action. Facts. Aegon the Conqueror. That I would have been a millionaire by now if I hadn't just invested and saved. Ooh. Melanie, that shirt happens. Oh, so we have to prep for any and every event. Yeah, stuff happens. Greek surgeon. Saved my money when I was 20 and invested. Ooh. Antonio Williams, to cut down expenses and live humble. Go, Jen, be fit. Thanks, Erica. Pick a lane, lock it in for 1 to 5 years. I used to think 1 year was enough, but it's not. Long-term game. Ooh, let me tell y'all. 1 year is like this. It's like, and people keep saying, oh, Erica, I got to do it right now. I got to go right now. Or I meet girls who are like, I got to get married right now. And I'm like, whoa, honey. You're not milk. You're not going to go bad tomorrow, but you got to focus. You got to be careful. You got to choose wisely, because then we'll see you in 3 to 4 years, newly divorced and complaining. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Make wise decisions. But 1 year is not a long time. It's not. It really, really isn't. And Nita said this thing. She had this post about something about your mind changes when you're 30. And that when people are young, they're trying so hard to prove they know things. They have all this knowledge. And of course, I said, look, you have people who went to war, people who've been married, people who had kids at a young age. Their whole life experience is different, and they do have a different type of mind. But most people, I think, when they hit 30, what happens is it just got real. What just got real? A lot of people who've been making bad decisions for 10 years wake up at 30 and go, oh, no. There was even this comment that they're saying men that you meet that are 35 can be a whole different man from 25. These are facts. I have a friend who made terrible decisions for a long time. They've made one good decision at 32. 3 years later, he's looking like, wow. I mean, whole different man. But again, it's all about choices. It's all about choices. They showed this one where this woman's a single mom with 5 kids finishing law school. Now, I have reservations on that, but at least she finished a goal. So not that she's always telling her kids, well, I almost finished law school. I almost finished. Well, now you're finished. And now you better make that money, girl. You got 5 kids. You done been all over the news. There's no reason some company cannot hire you. Some law firm out there hasn't hired you, and do whatever you want to do. 1 year is not a long time. Oh, or 4 years is, like, let's be honest, 4 years isn't a long time. People complain about college, but I got to really be honest. There are people who left ECU, went in the military 4 years later, came back and it was like this. Blink of the eye. It's not a long time. It really isn't. I wish I knew that there is actually enough passive income to never work again. Yeah. I wish I knew college degrees don't matter in the field of IT, so don't spend money on the 4-year degree in personal finance. Aegon the Conqueror, living humble is the best way to go. Martin Jackson, don't wait for opportunity, make it yourself. You have to believe in yourself. There's a post, I think Todd Capital posted tomorrow, don't say no to yourself. I don't know what book that's out of, but I've heard it before, but it's truly true. It's like, if you believe you can do it, or you believe you can't, both answers are right? Because you can talk your self out of a lot of things. And people don't understand that. I have a friend, he was saying there were like 4 different women in his life that he was like, I don't even know. And his friend beside him was like, you can go talk to her? I'm going to talk to her. And he said each one of those women, to this day, he remembers him being, I I don't know if you call it shy or introverted or whatever, his decision making, he still thinks, man, those were the 4 that got away. I'm like, you had 4 that got away? That's a lot. But that's just, don't wait for it. Don't wait for an opportunity. You have to make it. You really do. Like this week, I literally, when I wrote this stuff down that I was going to do this, like doors have opened like never before. So take action. I've been to war twice before 30. Mm-hmm. Thank you for your service or your contracting service, whichever one. Oh, and to monitor who you date and befriend. They always have some type of influence on your finances. Very true. Elle Johnson, I don't know if she did or not, but look at her life now. She done jumped up, got married, cleaned herself up. Her new song, very different kind of beat. More, I'm telling y'all, you can change it. Starting a company in my early 20s. Amanda P. Dr. Boyce said the same thing. Most of us start realizing life at 30 years old after kids and dumb decisions, following the crowd, while others have been educated and aware and been living structure. Let me read that again for the audience that's going to watch this replay. Amanda P. posted, Dr. Boyce said the same thing, that most of us start realizing life at 30 years old after kids and dumb decisions, following the crowd, while others, educated and aware, have been living in structure. Listen, people always say, oh, all these people got kids out here, Erica. I'm meeting men every single day of the week, ain't got no kids. I'm meeting women every single day of the week, ain't got no kids. They got some dogs, but they ain't got no kids. And they black. So don't believe the stereotypes, every day of the week, meeting people in these categories. Now, part of why I'm even doing this is because, too, there's this big movement on Instagram of like every day, gym. You just hit the gym every day, and then you travel and post it all on Instagram. And that's all you got to do is the gym and Instagram and travel. And as much as it's important for you to hit the gym, as much as it's important for you to travel, if you start looking at some of these people over a span of years, some of these travel kids who literally all like 2 or 3 of the big name ones have done what? Moved home, bought a house, and went back to work. So like, unless you find ways to monetize some of these things, and I want people to travel. I want people to have a full life. I want them to, life isn't over if you're not married at 21 leaving college. It's not over, even though people make you think that. But, put some perspective on some things. I wish I knew to say no to family and friends with money. Supposed to start my business. Woo! That's a tough one. I have a lot of clients at this point where they don't know how to say no to their family. They really don't. Or their family's extremely poor and they're doing extremely well. And this is what I tell people. You don't have to make more money, because you have the kind of heart that you won't say no, and you don't want your family to suffer. So at this point, what do you need to do? Start making investments. Now, when you buy rental properties, don't buy them where you live, because what's going to happen is you're going to let people move in there. Maurice Anderson, Mark Cuban got married at the age of 44. I'm not rushing. Well, here, Maurice Anderson, again, please don't compare yourself to one-offs, right? Again, like the woman that's like stealing Jeff Bezos is in her 40s. And women out there are like, see, girl, yeah, she in her 40s. She got him. And I'm like, wait. Jeff Bezos' current wife is 48, right? Like, he's not going way out of his spectrum. But don't sit here and praise like unique stories, unicorn stories. Don't rush, but don't praise unicorn stories either. Like, I just tell people, like, most of those people don't live anything like you live. So, no, the gym and the gram won't get it. It's behind the scenes coaching consultants. Boom. Don't fall for the hype. No social media for 2019. I mean, at the end of the day, social media is what it is. I just don't want these kids out here like killing themselves. Oh, Maurice Anderson, most people marry late. Like, it's not even a joke. Like, I think African-American women, I can't wait for the 2020 census. It's going to blow people's mind. The average African-American woman's first time marriage is 32 to 35. African-American men, it's like right around 30, 31. It got moved lower, so it may be 33 now. But essentially, these numbers people are quoting you, they're really off. Like, really off. So I can't wait for the 20 census. Now, definition of successful, keyword. successful men that marry late, a lot of those people are building businesses and working extremely hard. And what I'm seeing in even in the economy or even in the sphere of like men's dating topics, a lot of these guys get to 40 and 50. Like I can tell you right now, I know dudes who work at Dale and they go, the grumpiest guys on the floor is the 40-year-old guy who works all the time and has no wife. They're the grumpiest guys. You never want to work with them. They're in the fab complaining all the time, or the guys at Sam's on, because people believe the hype that, hey, I'll have the same hot options at 50 that I had at 25, and you won't. As you get older, your options get over. LRA Movement did a great video on this. He's like, you can't play the same games on 30-year-olds that you played on 25-year-olds. So everything in its own time, for sure. I think if you focus on, a little bit of if you're focusing on building a successful company, I understand it. If you're focusing on building a successful life, yeah. There's a guy I bought on the show, one of the Classy Climb interviews. He turned around and got married at like literally 6 months after we did a show here. He was 43. And his wife is 35, but she looks so young. And he got two girls now. He moved. Go Jen Be Fit. It provides a false illusion that you throw up one Instagram pic or YouTube video, now you're Gary V. The lies. It takes hard work and strategy. Camera Talk 305. I'm waiting for Erica to say, here in my garage, and flex with credit cards. Man, the type of people that would come over to this channel, ugh. Like, I have some video ideals, but I'm being careful because what kind of people it brings. It brings the cray-crays. It brings the cray-cray people. For real, though. Let's see what else I got in here. Okay, so look. Oh, it's late. It's getting close to midnight. Thank you guys for being up for me. But again, thank you for your contributions. Those are great quotes. Every single one y'all posted are really great. I think they're spot on. So look, mindset is a big one. Don't leave yourself out there playing catch up. If you want to turn the ship around, turn it around this year. 100%, be 100% in. Go all in on turning that ship around. So, everybody, this is Erica, Classy Climb Blog. Later, Gators.